Another video, and this one's on doing the grooves on the panel. And as you can see, I've started the groove. This one is by far the easiest to do. On the end grain, it's a little bit difficult, a little bit harder, not difficult, harder. So what I did to ease the planing, I saw the curve, right, about yay deep, and the blade has to be super sharp, okay, super sharp. And then when you're done doing that, then you've got to resharpen the blade again. All right, so that's that one. It's fairly easy. Okay. Here's another one. Maybe you don't know. I don't know. I don't know what you guys know, what you don't know. I don't know everything. But what I did to get the size of the panel is that I measured from there to there. And that gave me 5/16. And then I took that off and I put the ruler inside there, and then I measured it to, where did I measure it to? Oh, bummer. See, because I took the panel off, because I took the rail off, I measured it all the way to there. And I'm just wondering, how come it's come so long? So, yeah, so, okay, so you measure it from there with the ruler inside of that. And then, yes, you measure it to the end of that. I know this is 4 inches, so I just subtract 4 inches from that. And then I add 3/8 to it. And I get my measurement, which is, and I've drawn this up, but I don't rely on the drawings. They're just a guide to me. So it says here 5/16, right? And you know, I was reading Schwartz's blog this morning, and he doesn't like drawn plans. He thinks they're the enemy. But and I do agree with him somewhat. But without drawn plans, how are you going to know, if you have never ever put something together? How are you going to know how they all go together? So you don't rely on the measurements, and that's what he's saying. He says don't rely on the measurements, and yeah, wholeheartedly I agree. But I need to know what is the overall. So I know this is 49/16. That's the length, and that's what I'm going to cut that rail. Like I cut this style too. 47/9/16. Okay. So just because that says 45/16, it doesn't mean that it's 45/16. You know, when I measured this up, the width of the panel, on my computer I got 16/7/16. So I took a bit off and I've made it to be 16/5/16 to allow it, you know, to expand and contract. And when I measured this came to 16/7/16. Okay. This is still me working by hand. I'm not using machines. You can see that. What have I got? Have I got a table saw? I've got a bandsaw? I've got nothing. So this is all me using, and you know, it's years of experience. So I can get, you know, pretty much accurate measurements all the time, but you may not. And still, I never ever rely solely on that. I just, you know, I work everything off the pieces, but I like to have plans, and I think they're important to have plans. So enough on that. What I wanted to say is, if you're not going to freehand sharpen, and you know, sharpening that tiny little groove grooving blade, a plough plane blade. By hand, it's a fiddly. So you can't use this one. You got to use this one here. Now you can buy those fancy schmancy ones from Lee Nielsen and Henry Eckert and all of that, but that's all they are. They're fancy schmancy ones that you're spending additional dollars. Not just if you got this and it worked on majority of the stuff, you'd say, yeah, that's great. But then you got to buy extra for this blade. You got to buy extra for that blade. It's always in the hundreds of dollars, right? It's like it was shit money. So you buy this, right? 99% of your stuff is going to work, including the 1/8 blade, which I've got here, right? The 1/8 blade, perfect. But and that's the same with the planer blades. They all work in this contraption here. And even that thing that they've got, that additional one for the 1/8, you don't need it. You've got this. It all works. Just because a few sods out there don't know how to use it properly, they created a whole new market for it. But the fact is that that's really all you need. Why I like this one, the Eclipse, is because it's much faster to set up than it is that, and I'm guaranteed that blade is going to be perfectly parallel square. I can get the square, and I do get square on that, but that's just quicker and easier. And when I can't use that, I refer to that one, or I just do it by hand. But I do prefer the jigs. So that's it. I try to be as fast as I could. Thanks for watching.